Hi, welcome to the channel. This is where I share my insights. Today I want to talk to you about the freedom of the double bind. If you're a deep thinker, you will enjoy exploring the double bind. This is how I freed myself from the entrapment that makes us suffer. So if you're interested in what's called spiritual freedom, join me in a circular talk through the double bind, which will ultimately set you free. Stick around. Have you ever felt unlike yourself? That's a strange feeling. You might not quite understand that kind of a question, but you may have been told, that's not like you. Which begs the question, what is like you? If not exactly the same as what is unlike you. Alan Watts was a creative genius. And if you listen to Alan Watts, it sounds like he talks in circles. It sounds like he talks out of both sides of his mouth. And the metaphor of God speaking and the serpent speaking in the garden are the same. Lots of spiritual teachers talk about the practice of mindfulness. What is the practice of mindlessness? Lots of spiritual teachers talk about the practice of presence. What is the practice of absence? If not exactly the same thing. A state of being that you are aware of. And we here in the West are very confused by a worldview that God does all the good things and humans have done all the bad things, or the devil got after me, the devil made me do it. Or it's just not like me. Or I'm just not a very creative person. That's a good one. I hear that a lot. I'm uninspired. I'm not creative. I'm stuck. I'm destitute. Whatever follows the I am is a state of being or a condition in consciousness that seems to mistake itself for consciousness itself. Sentience. Which seems to mistake itself for love or the lack of love. What a creative statement to say, I am uncreative. What an inspired statement to say, I am uninspired. See, you are never not that. And you may have heard a spiritual teacher say, you're not the body. You're not your thoughts. You're not the world. Even the negation is you. See, this is what's tough for us to explain. The dark side of life, of so-called. What a terrible thing to say, God is evil. We couldn't possibly imagine that state of being. I've done some pretty duplicitous things. I've done some pretty heinous things. You can call that absence, forgetfulness, ignorance. Label it whatever you want to. But I am that. Maybe this is an admission of truth within me, and I'm the only person on the internet that admits that the potentiality of evil exists in me. I sense the so-called dark side in me and have participated in it. I have participated in the disgusting acts that a human can participate in. I have been, quote, unloving, hateful, irate, belittling. I have inhabited those states of being, even though I was fearful. So that must mean there is a spectra of energy that goes full circle, not polarities. Because even in absence, whatever that is, I am still here. Even in mindlessness, my hands move, my mouth moves, my body breathes, my body acts, my mind thinks. Are you with me? One could say that when you were 2 days old, why can't you remember? Why can't you remember coming through the birthing canal? Why can't you remember seeing your mother for the first time? Supposedly, that was the first time you ever laid eyes on your mother. If that was the case, you would have screamed forever. But you realized at some deep, intuitive, inbred level, you were safe. Maybe you threw a fit and cried, but then you realized even an infant, 2 days old, has the intelligence to realize they are safe. This is familiar to me. You knew. You knew you were safe, but you cannot remember. Explain this to me. How a baby who's supposed to be a blank slate, never been here before, never experienced life before, knows That's because knowing and so-called not knowing are both alike. The only evidence that you have of being an infant is anecdotal. You got photos. Your mother told you you were there in the delivery room. You accept that on blind faith. You don't question that. But yet, you have no proof of your own. Right? So the double bind is things like deciding to decide, knowing that you know, knowing that you don't know. You consider that a loophole. Having evidence that you did things even when you were an emotional tirade and you can't remember doing it. Losing something. That you placed somewhere and you lost it. The question is, who put it there? When you look out into the sky, you look at the moon and the stars and you say, who put that there? Could it be you forgot? In the same way that you see the evidence of being a baby, a little tiny, I can't believe I was ever that small. And you look at the sun, I can't believe I could be responsible for such a magnificent thing. We are so ancient, so incredibly wise, and absent. That what is like me, what is unlike me, what is mindful, what is mindless, all of it, I am that. That's the double bind. Is the loophole in your understanding. I know I must have done that, but I just can't remember. I know my mom looked like a stranger in the delivery room, but I know that I know that I know. In the same way that a bird knows where to fly. And a baby bird knows to follow its mother. To follow its instinct. Deeply embedded. As if you were unsafe. You were as unsafe as an infant crying in a delivery room, believing itself to be in some foreign land. Come on. We are wiser than this. We have this double bind. We understand that we understand. We know that we know. We know that we don't know. We know we did it even though we forgot. We know we were born even though we forgot. What craziness is this? If we weren't always here, even in death, we will be here. Think through these things. Jesus talked in parables. Para means side by side. It sounds like the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Positive and negative, just going round and round. We must talk about darkness, sinister. Randomness is connected to order, safety. Refamiliarize yourself with the primordial instinct of your being. Because even in the negation, I am not that, I am not that, I am not that, you are that. How do you know that? You can describe the state of being. I can describe being empty. Emptiness is this and this and this. Fear is this and this and this. I'm never without an ability to express my state of being. So sentience must be the only thing there is. And underneath that is love. I love you no matter what. You can be here or there, dead or alive, rich or poor. I can love myself no matter what my condition is. I can be sick and still feel that sentience, that love, that space that transcends it. The conditions don't matter to me. Even my own emotions. I can have an emotion, but I don't have to be taken up by it. That's what's so weird. That's the loophole. I know that I have an emotion. I have an emotion. Am I that emotion? I can still love myself in any condition. It depends on how much you care about the condition. Do you really care about the condition? Or is it, I love you no matter what? The condition seems insignificant because there are people in my life that have come and gone, and I still love them. I still love my best friend, my grandparents. I feel like they're still here. I'm okay. In and out, rich or poor, dead or alive. Can you love yourself if you're terminally ill? Because you are terminally ill. So yes, I do. And the emotional wellness, what's emotional wellness? I'm always well. And emotion is different from this wellness, this deep, ancient, untouchable, invisible love, which knows and matters not in condition. When you can free yourself from the condition, what you will find is a love that's open, subtle, ancient, wise, secure, and safe. It's a refamiliarization, as if you saw your mother for the first time and realized, oh, I am that mother. I am that intuitive root of being. Your journey is a refamiliarization journey. And the double bind is a circle home. Investigate the darkness, the dark side, the so-called evil, the absence, the mindlessness, the unlike me. And you'll see the loophole. My blog is called mymorningmotivator.com. I hope you'll check it out.